Welcome to Inside Hilltopper Athletics, brought to you by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Here's your host, Todd Ullom.
We are live from Generations on National Road in Wheeling, West Virginia. Tonight, our first episode of Inside Hilltopper Athletics for the 2024 fall season. It's a preview episode of the sports we're going to be covering this year. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Todd Ullom, and it's going to be a great year to start these things. We got quite a few sports to talk about. We will start with cross country, men's and women's, and we have head coach Jason Falvo. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me. What an honor.
Coach, we'll start off things quickly. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about and a little bit of time to do it. It's your second season as head coach here at West Liberty, third 3 years before that as an assistant. Take us through that in the transition from assistant coach to head coach.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. I had been a head coach for a long time previously, coming here and going into, coming out of the COVID year, was able to come back home and be here at West Liberty, which was a great opportunity for me as assistant under Coach Simpson, who was doing a great job with the cross program at the time and the track teams. And, was fortunate enough to move into the head spot where I'm very comfortable and really excited to be a part of that. And, for us, we kind of hit the ground running. I got in there just a little bit late in the process, middle of August. We were in cross-country season, had to hire a staff in the middle, was able to hire a great distance coach in Mike Gwynn with 20 years of experience to come in and really solidify our journey in the process for us and that. So it's been great. We hit it running real quick, but boy, was it. It's been working out really good for us.
Well, just a little bit more background for you. To coach sports at any level, you kind of got to love it. But to be a professional coach at the college level, you've got to love this sport. At what point in your life did you fall in love with running or just track and field in general?
Yeah, I've been coaching since 1999 in collegiate athletics. Never did high school ever. So started out as a football graduate assistant. Let me back up. I ran in college to prepare for football. It was kind of how I got into it. Then just fell in love with the sport, continued on in college coaching, which I really enjoyed and still do to this day. Progressed through. 2004 was my first year where I really got into track cross country as the head coach down at Waynesburg University, and then it's grown ever since. And really the benefit to me, the motivating factor, like the reason why we get out of bed, is to be able to impact the young lives that I'm associated with and build relationships that matter. We talk a great deal on our staff, but we get about 5 years with them, 1 year recruiting, 4 years when they're here, to help them get ready for the next 4 of their life. And for me, that's really what it's all about. We want to win. We want to be successful. We want to see athletic growth. But ultimately, you're coming to West Liberty because of the wonderful athletics, because of the wonderful facilities that we have. But ultimately, it's your academics and what you're really trying to get and where you want to be in life. And for me, that's the reason why we do it. And I love that 17 to 23-year-old age that I can help them mature. And sometimes they help me, and then continue on to hopefully have a relationship with them in the long run and be a part of their life in the future. So,
well, that being said, and what do you look for in recruiting some of these young players when they come in, just mentality-wise, academics, and athletics?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. We're obviously, kids are like, what are you looking for? And for us, I'm looking for somebody who's going to be hardworking and dedicated, and no matter what they do, understandably. I also want somebody who's a high character person, who's going to be a great teammate, right? It's going to work their tail off, but ultimately is going to be willing to be uncomfortable, because college from high school is a change. Childhood to adulthood is a change. They need to be able to adjust and work through that, I don't want to say nervousness, but that uneasiness as they transition into a young adult. And for me, those people that can handle that transition and do it really well, really early, are valuable to me.
Well, we'll get into the team for this year and preview what's going on in the 2024 season. You've got some returning runners.
Yeah.
You've got 3 on both the men's and women's side of cross country. You've got the 3 of the top 4 finishers in last year's MEC championships returning for you. Speak on what you expect to see from those that have done it before for West Liberty.
Yeah, I really think, and particularly on the guys' side, if we start there, we lost Phil White, we lost Brody Cermak, and we understand their importance. And Phil Phil was his 6th year, and he did some great things for us. And right behind him was Robert Allen, or we call him Mac Allen. Mac had a great sophomore campaign, really handled the adjustment in the training that we went through, right? And really had a phenomenal cross-country season, hitting his lifetime best. And transparently, every one of our distance kids last year hit their lifetime best. So Mac really excelled. We really like where our number 2 perceivably this year, Francis Tui, will be this year. He had a sophomore jump as well, followed very closely by Jasper Brown, who had a really good sophomore jump as well. And those guys really produced cross-country-wise for us, produced for us track-wise in the future. And then Patrick Childers is to be a sophomore for us. He came to us he's a local Wheeling Park guy, came to us, and really, man, he blossomed in college. Really set some great personal bests for him, and we're really excited for the 4 of those upperclassmen to really see what they can do and carry us, for sure.
How much do the runners feed off of each other, whether it be practice or in a race itself?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you need training partners for sure. You need your little hype squad, as we call it, for sure. But ultimately, when you get on that race, you need somebody who's going to be there with you, setting the pace. And in a cross-country race, there's a little bit of time where they can talk to each other. They can encourage each other. And they may leave each other at a certain point, X amount of miles in, but you definitely need your boys out there, or your running buddies, however you want to call it, to really help you.
Who was on the men's side of the team? Who are the newcomers coming in this year?
Yeah, we had a great class. Coach did a great job recruiting. We brought in 5 freshmen this year. We really are excited about them and what they're going to be able to bring. And I guess 3 of them from in-state and 2 out of states, but really excited for, John Skinner's going to come in from Ohio, tall, slender, kind of lanky runner that really showed a lot of promise in high school. We really think he's going to excel at the collegiate level with a little bit more consistent training. He's a worker. He wants to do too much on us, so we're going to try to dial him in and freshen him up. We're really excited to see where he's going to go for us. Skylar Hundall from in-state for us in West Virginia. Boy, he's a sleeper. We're pretty pumped about him, and I don't get too excited about freshmen because you never know how they're going to transition. But his ability level, his desire to be great, boy, he's going to be a good one for us. Zach Workman coming to us from the Morgantown area. Zach is a transitioning into cross country, although he was a team captain down there. Really did a great job for them. Had a great senior campaign. Really excelled in the track for us. Zach, to me, he's a phenomenal distance runner. He's going to be a phenomenal runner for us all around. But he's that guy that I was talking about that brings the character. He's going to bring that little bit of leadership to us. Where we're excited about him. So. And then we had 2 young freshmen coming in that are going to be kids that we know, David Wilson and Seth Croker, that we know we're going to develop and we're going to grow. So we're pumped up about the 5 of them.
Great. On the women's side, it was the same thing. 3 of the top 4 finishers in last year's MEC championships are returning. Yeah. What do you expect on the women's side?
I have to speak about Hannah Kemp. Hannah Kemp graduated and left for us. She was one of the most decorated distance runners that we probably will ever have here. Sad to see her go. Thankfully, she's going to be on our coaching staff, which is fantastic. We're going to have her around. But when you look at our returners, Morgan Lazansky had a phenomenal sophomore year, really improved her time by over 3 minutes, really had a great finish to her track season, which is going to spark her cross season. She had a great cross season, but she really peaked at the back end. So coming in for some summer training with her to see her really rise. Lacey Dimmitt will be a sophomore for us, had a great cross season, a great track season for us. We're pretty excited about her as well as a young runner. Allie Hicks would be the next one for us. Allie, again, all our runners ran great last year. She did a really good job. She's a little bit of the glue of the team. She's like the one that holds us all together on the women's side. Really did a great job of mentoring. Emma Flynn, who'll be a junior for us. They run the steeplechase together, and they're for the most part training partners at times in the cross season. The four of them have really, I don't want to say exceeded my expectation because I think they're great athletes, but they really put down some great work. We're super excited about where they're going.
And we've got some newcomers, the new recruits for women's side as well, a local product. I want to speak a little bit on those ladies.
Yeah, Emily Donnelly's coming to us from Wheeling Park. We really, the family is a West Liberty family. We're really excited to have her with us and her brothers on the football team, and we're really excited for her progress. She had a great cross-country season for her. And then Michaela Carter will be coming in from a little bit southern West Virginia. She's had a great summer workout, and we're excited to see what she does too.
Some other questions here for you. I'm curious. I was never a guy that liked to run anywhere, so it just boggles my mind that people do it for fun and for competition. Yeah. What is the most difficult course you'll have to run during the season?
Yeah, right now it's probably our conference championship course up at Ogilvie, and we run on the Crispin course, and it is understandably the hilliest, probably most challenging course that we'll run. So much so that the coaches and I, we talk about it a ton of like where we want to go. When we have, 2 national level cross country teams in our conference, how does that course set us up for some national things for the individual runners? So, boy, that course, oh man. That is a doozy for sure.
Is it something you make the kids do for punishment?
Yeah, for me, because I'm not a runner, right? I don't run, I sprint, but yeah, it's a challenging course for sure.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time out today to be here with us for this preview coaches show. The first meet they will be for the season, September 5th at Bethany. It's the West Liberty Invitational for both the men's and women's, correct?
Yeah, first time we've had a home meet in a really long time, so we're excited to do it.
Well, Coach, we're rooting for you. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and I think you're going to have a good season this year.
I think we will too. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, folks. We will be right back after this short break. Up next, we'll be talking women's soccer at West Liberty University. We'll be right back on Inside Hilltoppers Athletics.
Let's talk Kasasa, the rewards checking account that pays you when you bank with BSB. You heard that right. You get rewarded for doing what you're already doing. Plus, with Kasasa's awesome rewards, you'll be smiling all the way to the bank. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for Kasasa today and start earning money while having a blast. It's the perfect account for anyone who loves to laugh and save at the same time. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Kasasa is waiting for you.
Grab a meal at the Dirty Dog Tavern. Located at the top of the hill in West Liberty, Dirty Dog Tavern offers a family-friendly atmosphere with a full menu as well as adult beverages. Catch the game during weekday happy hours, play games like darts or pool, or enjoy the deck with your family and friends. Open Monday through Saturday at 4 p.m. and Sunday from noon to 8. Come to the Dirty Dog Tavern in the town of West Liberty, a proud supporter of Hilltopper Athletics. Where are you going? The store in West Liberty. The store is open 7 days a week with daily lunch specials, hot food and cold sandwiches, Patsy's Pizza, and a wide selection of chips, pop, and other snacks, as well as household goods and hygiene products. We've also got a wide selection of beer and an ATM. Stop on in and check out the store, located at the top of the hill in the town of West Liberty, a proud supporter of Hilltopper Athletics.
What brought me to Reynolds was the usability of all of the doctors that are using my chart. So everybody can see everything, so you don't have to tell each doctor what's going on. It's already in front of them and they're ready to go with your appointment. Overall with Reynolds, the doctors are fantastic, nurses are great, they've got a great atmosphere here. Everybody is honestly a delight to work with from the time I make it from registration to my appointment and wrapping me up to send me out the door. My name is Megan Chambers and I'm a patient at WVU Medicine, Reynolds.
Choosing health coverage for your family, your employees, and your company is one of the most important decisions you can make. The health plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. We are here for your family. We are here for your business. We'll be here for you when you need us most, because your health coverage is our priority. The health plan, here for you.
Welcome back. We're here at Generations on National Road in Wheeling, West Virginia for this special preview show of Inside West Liberty Athletics. Talking women's soccer now with Coach Pete McMenemy. Coach, thank you for being here.
No, thank you very much. I'm really, really happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
It's your second full season here at West Liberty as head coach, but let the fans get to know you a little bit better. When did you start playing soccer? How did you gain that love for soccer, and what made you want to coach soccer as a profession?
So, I started playing soccer back in Scotland probably from about ages 3-4 years old. To be honest, that's the main sport there, unlike over here. But that was really the only sport that I was involved with when I was really young. And then about 8-9 years old is when I started playing for a team, and then kind of drifted in and out of some academies over there in Scotland. And then around about age 16, 17 is where the kind of first interest to come to the US and be involved in college soccer here in America was kind of brought to my attention. Kind of went into that pathway, and then I played college soccer at Alderson Broaddus, which again was in West Virginia. Had 4 really, really great years there. Loved my time at AB. It was a really great place to be, and really happy that I got to experience that. And then after that, I wasn't quite ready to give up the game, and I thought, towards the end of my senior year, I did a little bit of, internship coaching-wise with the women's program at AB at the time. And that's really when I kind of said, I think this is something that I want to do, as a career on a full-time basis. So done my first GA job as a GA for a NAIA program in Nebraska called Midland University. So I had 2 years there. Really, really enjoyed my time there. It was a great group of guys, and had some good success there. After that 1 year at Georgetown College, which is another NAIA school down in Kentucky. And again, that was a weird time because it was COVID and everything like else, and NAIA was, we played, whereas most teams, didn't have a season. NAIA schools played at the time, so it was kind of unique from that standpoint. Ended up going back to Scotland for about 6 or 7 months, where I got into coaching, but more like small group kind of training. And that's actually where the kind of initial instinct of coming back to America happened, in the sense of being able to coach women's soccer at collegiate level. I was fortunate enough in my time there to work with 6 or 7 really elite female players, and that kind of inspired me, and I thought, I think I could come back to America and be involved on the women's college soccer side. So firstly was the assistant at West Liberty, and then when I got the opportunity to be interim in the spring of 2023, and then last May was really, really grateful to have the opportunity to be the head coach on a full-time basis. So long kind of journey, I guess. And when you leave West Virginia back in 2016 to go off, you maybe don't think that you'll be back, and it's funny how life kind of brings you back round and back here. So really, really happy and fortunate that I've been able to have the kind of experiences that I've had.
Well, you can go back home in Scotland, let them know it really is almost heaven here in West Virginia. For being only your second year as the head coach at West Liberty, you had a great first year. You had the school record for wins with 7 last year. Again, it still boggles the mind to me a little bit, the fact that it was your first year as the head coach and you're able to set that record. What was the biggest reason for getting that many victories?
I'm going to kind of palm this off a little bit, but I'm going to say that players were massive. It had been, a kind of some changes within the program, obviously, and that's not an easy thing for players to go through. And we were able to bring in 1 or 2 pieces to the puzzle that I felt at the time could improve us as a squad. But just a change in, honestly, like a lot of it has been a change in mindset and mentality and what we want to do. We've tweaked 1 or 2 things stylistically and how we want to play. For me, as a coach, that's a massive part in what we want to do with our program. Style of play is, to me, everything. If your team's playing good soccer. If the morale is high, then in the long term results will continue to grow and you'll have success. So I think that was the first kind of thing, was trying to get that mentality shift within the group and just bring some new ideas to the table. But again, the players were absolutely massive last year in terms of being open to new ideas and then just embracing it. And as I said, it's as much as them as anything that we were able to do. So.
It's a new season this year, so I don't want to harp too much about last year. You made the playoffs for the first time or the postseasons for the first time since 2018. How do you build on that for this season?
So I think, something that we spoke about as a group, even in the spring season, was, trying to improve our away form. So on the road, trying to compete more, make sure that we can compete to win more games away from home. Our home form was pretty strong last year. But I think history shows in this conference you've got to be able to win games on the road to be able to compete at the top end. So for us, it's being more competitive on the road, and honestly trying to make sure that this isn't something that we just do 1 year and we don't we have to wait a long time for again. We want to be a team that is consistently trying to qualify for conference tournaments and make sure that this is a good pattern that we're able to continue.
And since it is going into your second year, you've got that first year out of the way, the butterflies, whatever, things worked out. Is there much of a difference from when you first became head coach to now?
There's one or two changes personnel-wise that you're always going to see, but I think something that I really noticed, particularly in the spring season, was that kind of we talk about in our program of just having that relentless kind of mentality, and I think that this spring was huge for us. A lot of soccer coaches talk about fitness and how important that is, and I don't think it's the be all and end all, but it is obviously an important part. And we do a specific kind of fitness test, and I remember doing it. We were inside at the bubble on campus because it was really cold outside, and I just remember there was a certain point in that test where it gets really tough, and maybe subconsciously some players thought about, this is time for me to just drop out and stop here, but it wasn't anything that I did. It was the players in the group that pushed through, and some of them actually ended up beating their score, like almost doubling their score by the end of the fitness test. So for me, it was really pleasing to see that came from a player's perspective. I think that was huge for us. So.
We've got returning players coming back from a very good season last year. What do you expect from them in this upcoming season?
Obviously we honestly returned a lot of our group from last year, and I just think they've had a taste of success of what success might look like, and I think they're hungry for more. So I think obviously we bring back a lot of players that played a lot of minutes for us last year. We also bring in some new faces that will give us a lot of depth in position. So I think for us it's about trying to establish that rhythm early, continuing to build on it, and making sure that our performance level is consistent. And returners are going to be a big help with that.
Now, you talked about some of the newcomers. What do you look for in recruiting, whether it be incoming freshmen out of high school or just a transfer from a different college?
For me, you have to have enthusiasm for the game. That's the number one priority that we're looking for. You have to have that enthusiasm, that passion for the game. And then, honestly, for us, is that technical and tactical element to it. If you haven't seen us play, it's a little bit different from maybe most college soccer teams that have played, and you have to have that skill set to be able to do what we do, and we do recruit for our style of play, which again I think is really important too. So you have to have that willingness, that enthusiasm, but then also combine that with the tactical and technical elements of the game.
Doing my research on the women's soccer team last year, you had 12 players that were all MEC, all academic, all MEC. How important is that to you that they're with their academics as well as the athletics?
Yeah, for me it's a priority. And again, I can't speak highly enough of how our team does in the classroom and the standards that they set. They're so driven, each and every one of them, about what they want career-wise. And I think that skill is really transferable onto the field. So I've seen a big shift in terms of being able to take what they learn in the classroom from that mindset and then shift it onto the field. So I think it's huge. And again, for me, the number one priority is them walking across that stage in May or December whenever they graduate, and being able to do what they want career-wise.
Predictions on the season. What are you hoping from the ladies this year?
Just for us, I'm not going to make any bold predictions, but just to maintain and improve on the levels of last year. Spring was massive for us in terms of testing ourselves against some really strong opponents, and I think we were able to do that. So for me, it's coming back prepared, which I think our group will be, and heading into these non-conference games and then obviously conference play. Excited, but also prepared for what's to come.
Well, Coach, thank you for being here. I want to let the fans out there know the first game of the season for women's soccer will be at Seton Hill September 5th, and then the first home game will be September 15th at West Liberty against Fairmont State, the big-time rival. Coach, thank you so much for being here. It's good to meet you. And good luck on the season. When we return on Inside Hilltopper Athletics, we will have men's soccer on the docket.
What if your bank offers CDs with consistently competitive and higher interest rates?
That's what I want.
What if, unlike other banks, they're normally open more hours? And they don't use high teaser rates on CDs only to lower them later.
Isn't that the way all banks should be?
And even more, several of their CD accounts have some of the best interest rates.
That's money in the bank.
The right bank.
Open your CD account at Main Street Bank. You deserve a bank this good.
Hi, I'm Heather, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is getting the perfect bite. It's probably not the first bite, it's the second or the third, with the juicy chicken and the delicious pickle. The bite with the pickle is it. I mean, that is like the magic combination.
All right, now you're just like Daddy, huh?
They'll probably never know about his thousands of hours of on-the-job training.
Here you go, Daddy.
Or that he spent as much time in the classroom as someone with a master's degree. You and I know he's one of the experts when it comes to electricity, part of a team committed to doing the job right. They call him Dad. You call him the electrician right down the street. IBEW, the power professionals in your neighborhood.
From humble beginnings in 1837, West Liberty University has been home to thousands of students. Whether you're a recent high school graduate or looking to complete a college degree later in life, starting your educational career at West Liberty University will be the catalyst for your future. This is a place where you will discover who you are and where you belong, surrounded by lifelong friends and a supportive faculty and staff. Start your journey home at westliberty.edu.
From the long-lasting and reliable heating and cooling systems we send out the door, to the friendly and knowledgeable dealers who go the extra mile. With a no-hassle replacement limited warranty, you can trust Comfort Maker to deliver outstanding service and performance, keeping you a step ahead with advanced technology and exceptional comfort.
Contact Mountain Air Heating and AC at mountaineerhvac.net.
Let's talk Kasasa, the rewards checking account that pays you when you bank with BSB. You heard that right. You get rewarded for doing what you're already doing. Plus, with Kasasa's awesome rewards, you'll be smiling all the way to the bank. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for Kasasa today and start earning money while having a blast. It's the perfect account for anyone who loves to laugh and save at the same time. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Kasasa is waiting for you.
Welcome back to Generations for Inside Hilltopper Athletics. We've got Coach Sean Regan for men's soccer. Coach, your 5th season on the Hilltop. You come from a family that is very steeped in soccer tradition in the Ohio Valley and Wheeling specifically. Has this always been the dream of yours?
Yeah, from day one. I was growing up. Obviously, Wheeling didn't have professional soccer or Pittsburgh or anything like that. So, obviously, my dad coaching at Wheeling Jesuit, those guys were my heroes. That was my team. I always went to the practices and went to the games. And when it came to making my decision in college and what I wanted to do, I always knew that coaching was the profession that I wanted to do. I was very lucky to have a great mentor, my father, that guided me along the way, and I also saw that he had very flexible office hours and get golfing every once in a while. So that 9-to-5 job was never going to suit me. So, but yeah, it's been my passion since I was a kid, and I couldn't ask for anything more.
Just getting into a little bit of your coaching staff at West Liberty, give them a little bit of a shout out, the assistant coaches, training staff, anybody that helps out with the program.
Yeah, we've got a nice GA in Vaughn Kelly. He enters second year. He's from Jamaica, and he's been fantastic. With any graduate student, they come in and they're a little bit nervous, transitioning from a player to a coach, and sometimes it takes some getting used to from being a player, But he did a fantastic job last year, and obviously he's matured another year. And he's going to be a big part of our program, whether it be coaching, recruiting, or generally being the guy that's in between the players and myself, and can relate to the guys a little bit more because he's a little bit younger than me. So it's good to have somebody like that on staff.
What's your philosophy with soccer? The style of play that you want, the mentality you want your players to have? What's your take?
Yeah, there's all kinds of style in soccer and philosophies. Difference between Europeans and South Americans. And one of the cool things about college soccer in the States, it's very internationally driven. But not only that, across America, it's so big. We've got guys from Seattle, California, Texas, and Florida. And even within our own country, we have different styles and abilities. I'm not a guy that has a certain style, and say, this is how we're going to play. I always look after preseason, all right, what's our best 15 guys? And how can we get our best 15 players on the field the most? And how can we mold our style around those guys? There's no point in me trying to put square pegs in round holes. That's the most important thing. So it's whatever the guys are most comfortable, and we ask them, they're part of the process. What do you feel you want to play? And we've experimented in the springtime with a couple of things. We'll try it again in preseason. We're lucky we've got some, 2 preseason games that the first team will play to kind of have some time to gel and try some different things, and we'll kind of go from there. But, personally from me, I would like to win a game 6-5 and 1-0. It's about the fans. It's got to be entertaining. Nobody wants to watch a 0-0 game or anything like that. And coming from my Irish background, it's you want to get hard tackles and stuck in, and you be hard. And that's kind of like what I like. Versus a little dancing on the pitch. But that's just kind of some of the things that I look for when I'm recruiting and bringing players in.
See, now that reminds me of Regan's, but I didn't play soccer growing up. I played hockey, and that's what I remember from his family in hockey. Always making sure I looked stupid. It was great. They were very good. Very good. When it comes to recruiting and the kind of players that you look for, like you said, you get guys from all over the country, all over the world, and they all come from different styles. What are the things that you look for academically and athletically?
Yeah, you have to look for what is the West Liberty student. That's the mix between being a good student and a good athlete. And it's what do you want to be? Some guys, when you're recruiting them, they want to be in a city. That's not us. Wheeling's a good-sized town. It's comfortable. It's close to Pittsburgh. But up on the mountaintop, we're a little bit away from things and stuff like that. So sometimes it can be a little bit of a culture shock. But it's making those students know that before they come. And academically, we strive ourselves to be one of the top academic schools in the conference, and we're one of the top academic teams in our own department, which is great. We've got RAs on campus. We've got guys that have been cum laude, magna cum laude academically. So they know they have to work hard in the classroom, because 99% of my guys are going to be professionals in something other than soccer. And so the academic portion of it is huge. And then soccer-wise, it's somebody that wants to work hard. If you work hard, you're going to be successful in all things in life. And that should translate into the field as well.
And that's very telling, because last season you had 10 different players making the academic all-MEC team, and that's quite a feat. I think there was only one other team that we've talked to so far that had more. So double-digit players on that is just tremendous. Talk about some of the returning players that you have coming back this year. I know you got some young guys that have done pretty well. Talk about what you expect from them.
Yeah, we're lucky that we have a couple guys coming back for their COVID year. So that's huge. Having your 5th year of experience is tremendous. And this is obviously, the last year for it. So we're blessed that guys like Jan and Vitor and Tim and Zach are back for that, and they've all been integral parts of the program from year one. They came in as kind of my first recruiting class. So to have them for 5 years and to be able to use their experience and for them to kind of nurture the younger guys coming in, I'm really looking forward to that. We've been blessed the past 2 years that we've had older guys like Reese Lewis and Noah Underwood that use those years as well. And it's been a big part of our program. And the younger guys, it was funny, last year we were old/young, a lot of seniors, a lot of freshmen. So now those freshmen that played a lot have a year under their belt. We're looking for them to step up and make an even bigger impact. And we had a lot of freshmen have a lot of playing time last year. Jasper was an all-conference player. Barney and Brody played a ton in the midfield last year. Linus was another player that contributed with a few goals and worked really, really hard. And up top, Zach Rycroft was an all-conference performer, one of our top goal scorers. And he had the chance to play this summer in USL2 for a team in Charleston, which was riddled with Division I players. So he was able to get a lot of experience down there as well.
Is there any position competitions pre-season and training camp? What were some of the bigger competitions so far?
Yeah, so it's might be a bit of a cliche, but every spot is open. Whether you're last year's captain or a guy that didn't play very much, every spot is open. We have some holes we have to fill. We graduated Noah, who was 4-time all-conference player, and Colton has been his number 2 for the past 3 years, and it's his time to shine. So we're looking forward to seeing him step up. We played very well this summer for the West Virginia Highlanders team, and played every game, so that gave him a little bit of experience of being the number 1, and we hope to see that transition in. And then we have a couple other guys that, coming in as new players, junior college transfers, freshmen, that we think can make an impact right away.
We talked about this, the soccer program at West Liberty, men's soccer, hasn't been around too awful long, so it's kind of building a new program somewhat. How is that process going?
Yeah, little by little. That's the big thing. We're still the second youngest Division II program in the country. So we've always had goals and targets set up every year, and they've always been pretty achievable because there was nothing there before. They had a team in the 70s to 82, and then it went away. So we've always set ourselves some targets. But now that we've gotten better, we've made the playoffs the past two years, which has been fantastic. We're going to try to set a little bit loftier, more hardable, achievable goals. So it's going to drive our guys forward. Like I said, we've been to the playoffs the past 2 years. Now our goal is to win a game. We were in that position. Unfortunately, Notre Dame is gone, and they've always been a top 25 team for many, many, many years. Notre Dame, along with Davis and Elkins, again, top 25, and then Charleston is your national powerhouse. Always in the top 5. So those top 3 spots were very, very hard. But after that, it's always been a dogfight because Wheeling, Wesleyan, ourselves, Frostburg, and now Concord's emerged as a good side as well. So there's no guarantees, So if we can finish in the 4th spot this year and win a playoff game, that's kind of what we're looking for.
I know the program hasn't been around very long at West Liberty. The facilities are kind of the same thing. Talk about the new facilities.
Oh, it's excellent. To have your own soccer pitch is tremendous. We're really the only one that has that. There's at least a couple of schools that have to share with football and rugby and lacrosse and everything like that. So to be able to have our own pitch to train whenever we want to and only share with it when we see the track is wonderful. And just the aesthetics of it with just having soccer lines, it's a huge recruiting tool. And to be able to tell the guys, hey, listen, we practice at 4:30. We're not waiting for football to get off, or women's lacrosse is coming on after us, and the guys can use it whenever they want to. It's awesome, and couple that with the indoor facility that we have and the upgrades to the weight room. Our facilities are second to none. When I take guys around and they look at these things, they're in awe. They can't believe that at a medium-sized Division II school could have such luxuries that we have. So I'm pretty proud of that, and I like to brag about it.
Well, your hopes, thoughts, and predictions on this upcoming season?
Always going to be optimistic. That's the big thing. We like I said, to finish in the top 4 would be a great target, and it's definitely an achievable goal. I would say between before, it was like, hey, if we win 5 games, 6 games, and we're competitive and everything, then we've done our job. But now we have to start saying, hey, we need to start finishing a little bit higher. We need to start scoring some more goals, keep some clean sheets, and get into that playoff picture where teams are like, all right, Westlake can do some damage here. And I think more so than ever, I'm proud of this team before we even start because I think we can achieve that goal. So this is the first year, I think, when I look at all the guys and say, We have a big, lofty goal, but I think it's a very attainable goal as well.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you being here, taking time to be on the show with us. The first match of the season, it's an away game for men's soccer, September 5th at Ohio Dominican. The first home game will be 3 days later, September 8th against D&E. Again, Coach, thank you for being with us. Good luck in the upcoming season, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again here.
Absolutely. Thanks, buddy.
Coach, that was Coach Sean Regan of West Liberty Men's Soccer. When we return, we'll be talking West Liberty Volleyball on Inside Hilltopper Athletics.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
Let's talk Kasasa, the rewards checking account that pays you when you bank with BSB. You heard that right. You get rewarded for doing what you're already doing. Plus, with Kasasa's awesome rewards, you'll be smiling all the way to the bank. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for Kasasa today and start earning money while having a blast. It's the perfect account for anyone who loves to laugh and save at the same time. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Kasasa is waiting for you.
Grab a meal at the Dirty Dog Tavern. Located at the top of the hill in West Liberty, Dirty Dog Tavern offers a family-friendly atmosphere with a full menu as well as adult beverages. Catch the game during weekday happy hours, play games like darts or pool, or enjoy the deck with your family and friends. Open Monday through Saturday at 4 p.m. and Sunday from noon to 8. Come to the Dirty Dog Tavern in the town of West Liberty, a proud supporter of Hilltopper Athletics. Where are you going? The store in West Liberty. The store is open 7 days a week with daily lunch specials, hot food and cold sandwiches, Patsy's Pizza, and a wide selection of chips, pop, and other snacks, as well as household goods and hygiene products. We've also got a wide selection of beer and an ATM. Stop on in and check out the store, located at the top of the hill in the town of West Liberty, a proud supporter of Hilltopper Athletics.
What brought me to Reynolds was the easeability of all of the doctors that are using my chart. So everybody can see everything, so you don't have to tell each doctor what's going on. It's already in front of them and they're ready to go with your appointment. Overall with Reynolds, the doctors are fantastic, nurses are great, they've got a great atmosphere here. Everybody is honestly a delight to work with from the time I make it from registration to my appointment and wrapping me up to send me out the door. My name is Megan Chambers and I'm a patient at WVU Medicine, Reynolds.
Choosing health coverage for your family, your employees, and your company is one of the most important decisions you can make. The health plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. We are here for your family. We are here for your business. We'll be here for you when you need us most, because your health coverage is our priority. The health plan, here for you.
Welcome back to Inside Hilltopper Athletics. I am Todd Ullom. Joining me now, head coach of volleyball, Makenzy Johnson. First season, she's been head coach for 2 months?
Yeah, less than, I think.
Somewhere early June, was hired as the head coach for volleyball at West Liberty University. Thank you for being on the show with us. And kind of take us through your athletic career, just life growing up, what made you love sports, what made you love volleyball, and why'd you want to be a coach?
Yeah, so first I think a lot of it has to do with where my dad started off. He was a high school football coach for my entire childhood. I was on the sideline flipping the periods and blowing the blowhorn. So I grew up in sports. I grew up around someone who cared about the game and cared about their athletes the way that I do now. So having him kind of as that mentor, as that idol growing up meant a lot. So he wasn't able to coach in college, so he kind of passed the baton to me. So here I am. I always knew I wanted to coach in college. Volleyball is really the only thing I saw myself doing. Just being around people, being able to teach the game, being able to help young women grow, I think is something I'm really passionate about. So I started playing in Cleveland, Ohio, and then I relocated with my family to Richmond, Virginia, where a lot of my childhood memories reside. And then from there, I kind of bounced around colleges. I was a product of the transfer portal, but I ended up graduating from Virginia State University with my bachelor's in psych. So I graduated from there in December of 22. Started here as a GA last August, and kind of here I am.
I mean, what a transition from student to grad assistant to head coach. And it's of a program that has done pretty well lately. Talk about that transition. I mean, did you ever foresee yourself getting the head coaching job that quickly?
Absolutely not. I think it's funny. I talked to my mom the other day, and I was like, I reached this goal of mine. Like, I wanted to be a college coach since I was 16, 17, 18 years old. And I was like, I'm 24, taking over my first program. I'm like, well, what now? And she's like, it's about building your portfolio and helping girls grow and doing what you wanted to do. So I think it's crazy how much my life has changed looking back in the past year. But honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. It was funny. I told a recruit in May, you don't know what you're capable of until you get thrown into the fire and have to do it. And I think that was funny. I said that before I got the job. And then a month later, I got announced. So I think that came full circle. And I kind of ate my words in that sense. But, it's been a wild ride. The staff here is absolutely amazing. They've helped me, adapt. They've helped me learn, grow. There's a lot of things I don't know yet, but I'm feeling confident going into this first season. There was a lot that I was given, responsibility-wise last year that I think helped me prepare for this going into this role, especially so soon, but I'm so excited. Yeah.
So we've talked before we came on air, not a whole lot, not a big coaching staff, not a ton of assistants, but you do have some help from an assistant football coach, Coach Hopkins with strength and conditioning.
Yes, he does an amazing job working with our athletes in the off season. In season, we work with him twice a week. But in the off season, I think we see the most growth with our athletes, just of the confidence that they gain. Training with him and getting stronger, getting faster. He's always talking about getting more powerful. So I think the confidence that he instills in our athletes in the weight room, that kind of mirrors itself on the court as well for our program.
Is he as tough on the volleyball players as he would be with his offensive linemen?
I hope he's not watching this, but I can't say yes. I think that, he obviously, you're working with two different types of athletes. You're working with men versus young women. So I think that he does a really good job at adapting to our team and kind of giving us what we need in the moment. He's always, bringing a lot of good energy to the weight room too. So I know the girls enjoy working with him.
It's a new season, so I don't want to spend too much time on last year, but it was a great year for the team.
Yes.
And you were part of it as a graduate assistant, 23-10 overall, 10-4 in conference play. How do you build on that for this season?
Yeah, I think it's everyone keeps asking me that, but I don't think it's building. I just think it's maintaining. And a lot of, what we're trying to achieve isn't really achievable, in that regular season. It's just about maintaining that standard that's kind of been set already. So making sure that we're doing our job, in conference games, we're doing our job in the conference competition, but also making sure that the girls understand that we're not just working for a good conference record or an NCAA appearance. Like, we're working for an NCAA competition. We're able to go to those tournaments and compete with those teams, maybe take a few sets, maybe take a match, one of these years. But I think that helping us change our mindset to let's just get to the tournament. It's okay. Let's compete in the tournament. Let's go and try to win our conference tournament. So I think, elevating our standard or our goals in that sense will help a lot this going into this season.
And some of the returners from last year coming back, again, a great season last year. What do you expect from those returning that know what it's like to have a good team?
Yeah, so I think I was actually just talking to one of our coaches. We have a lot of, veterans, a lot of experience coming back. Starting off with, we have Dakota Kenny coming back. She'll be a sophomore setter for us, and she was, really a big part in our lineup last year. And I don't think that, as a freshman, you don't come in expecting to be that big of a part or play that big of a part, but she, handled it really, really well. I'm looking forward to watching her grow through her leadership roles as well. I think she can be a really good leader for us come her senior year. And then Grace Hill, she's coming back for us. She'll be a junior after playing a lot last season, and she's just a force to be reckoned with on the court. I think she's a fierce competitor, and I love having her energy in our gym. Riley Kudnick, she's healthy this year. So last year she went down with a knee injury in September. We were down and out a little bit without her, but we wrangled back and found out, how much adaptability, versatility that we have, and just how much we can dig deep and fight. But Riley kind of will be back, and she just brings so much energy to our gym. She's a competitor. She wants to win, and she's actually one of our captains this year. So I think she does a great job at leading the goals of the team and the mindset, and kind of keeping everyone on the same wave throughout the season. So,
what are your thoughts on the newcomers, whether they be straight out of high school coming in as freshmen or transfers coming into the program? How do you see some of those ladies fitting in?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So we have Grace Yoder coming in. She's from Colorado, so she's a junior college transfer. I actually got her in May, so I'm super excited. She kind of went through that Notre Dame college, closure and didn't really know where to go. So we kind of took her in under our wing. She's joining the family, so I'm super, super excited. She brings a lot of good experience at the Division II NJCAA level. So I'm really, really excited to see, what kind of mindset, accountability, IQ, what she can bring, watching her play and interact with our girls. I know her personality is a really good fit for our program. And then we have 3 freshmen coming in, Olivia, we have Kai, and then we have Kendall coming in. And they're all 3 great competitors. I know that they want to come in and play, and that's kind of, the mindset that I try to recruit, try to bring in is players that want to come in and compete right away. Whether that's competing for a starting spot, whether you're trying to compete, just to see the floor at some point. I think, bringing in freshmen, transfers that are hungry and wanting a little bit more for themselves is really, really huge.
So we've talked about the athletics and things you look for in recruiting. We get to the academic side. We've talked about quite a few teams so far tonight that have done really well with getting all conference honors for academics. Volleyball is no different.
Yes.
Double digit, 10 of them last year.
Yes.
And off camera during the commercial break, we talked about a little competition
Yes.
between other women's sports
Yes.
and trying to get more academic all-conference players.
Yeah.
How big of a deal is that? Not just for you as a coach and when you're recruiting, but for the players themselves. Do they talk about that much? How big of a deal is that for them?
I think, the biggest thing I always tell my players find something that you're passionate about, because then you're more willing to do, the right thing. You're willing to go the extra mile to learn a little bit more. But yeah, the academics are huge during the recruiting process, especially when they get here. A lot of our girls are very, very smart. We have a lot of nursing majors, dental hygiene, ex-phys, speech path. So with, kind of going in the sciences realm of things, they're just more likely to, hold themselves accountable, studying for those tests, doing their study hall hours. We do have a GPA minimum requirement on the team, or else you're back in study hall. So I think that kind of lights a fire under their butt, for lack of a better term. So holding them to a higher standard than, our athletics maybe would hold them to, maybe their department or major would hold them to, I think is the biggest thing. Because we've been, top 2, if not top GPA for the past few semesters. So we're hoping to keep that going.
Definitely keep that going. You've had 3 NCAA tournament appearances in the last 3 seasons. I know, I can already tell how competitive you are. You want to keep that going.
Yeah.
How do you see that going so far? Just the teams and practices now getting ready. And again, I haven't asked any other coaches this yet, but the heat this summer so far. Do you think that's helped them at all get ready?
So I don't know what they have or haven't been doing. I can just kind of take their word and hope that they've been doing their summer workouts. But just talking to them, being in regular conversation, I know that a lot of them are super excited. Especially coming in, getting a new face as a coach. I mean, not really a new face, but a new philosophy, I guess you could say. But they're really excited. I know that they're ready to come in and work and kind of prove themselves, not only to each other, but to me too. So kind of going into this season, a lot of it has to do with our strength of schedule. Our first 13 games, we play 5 opponents that made the NCAA tournament last year, one of which made a Sweet 16 appearance, and then we are playing the regional champions of the Atlantic region. So kind of, keeping that in mind and knowing who our opponents are, like if we're learning from our losses and if we're losing to the right teams, I think we will be okay, once those regional rankings come out. We have a very, very tough schedule. I think it's one of our toughest schedules in program history, just with who we're playing, when we're playing, things like that. But I know that this group is tough. I know that as soon as they get that confidence and they start to kind of gel and mesh together, I know that we'll be good.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you joining us. for the show tonight and taking time out of your day to do so.
Yeah.
To let the folks know at home, their first match this season will be September 6th in the Ashland tournament in Ashland. They will take on East Stroudsburg, I believe, in the first one. And the first home match will be September 17th against Ursuline. Please get up to the ASRC. The volleyball team has been doing tremendous for the past decade or so, it feels like. So I don't have any doubt in my mind that will continue with you at the helm. And thank you so much for being here with us and taking time out to speak with us.
Thanks for having me. I had fun.
Thank you. We'll be right back for more after the break. We'll have Coach Roger Waialae from Hilltopper football to speak about. We'll come back on Inside Hilltoppers Athletics.
What if your bank offers CDs with consistently competitive and higher interest rates?
That's what I want.
What if, unlike other banks, they're normally open more hours? And they don't use high teaser rates on CDs only to lower them later.
Isn't that the way all banks should be?
And even more, several of their CD accounts have some of the best interest rates.
That's money in the bank.
The right bank.
Open your CD account at Main Street Bank. You deserve a bank this good.
Hi, I'm Heather, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is getting the perfect bite. It's probably not the first bite, it's the second or the third, with the juicy chicken and the delicious pickle. The bite with the pickle is it. I mean, that is like the magic combination.
All right, now you're just like Daddy, huh?
They'll probably never know about his thousands of hours of on-the-job training.
There you go, Daddy.
Or that he spent as much time in the classroom as someone with a master's degree. You and I know he's one of the experts when it comes to electricity, part of a team committed to doing the job right. They call him Dad. You call him the electrician right down the street. IBEW, the power professionals in your neighborhood.
From humble beginnings in 1837, West Liberty University has been home to thousands of students. Whether you're a recent high school graduate or looking to complete a college degree later in life, starting your educational career at West Liberty University will be the catalyst for your future. This is a place where you will discover who you are and where you belong, surrounded by lifelong friends and a supportive faculty and staff. Start your journey home at westliberty.edu.
From the long-lasting and reliable heating and cooling systems we send out the door, to the friendly and knowledgeable dealers who go the extra mile. With a no-hassle replacement limited warranty, you can trust Comfort Maker to deliver outstanding service and performance, keeping you a step ahead with advanced technology and exceptional comfort.
Contact Mountain Air Heating and AC at mountaineerhvac.net.
Let's talk Kasasa, the rewards checking account that pays you when you bank with BSB. You heard that right. You get rewarded for doing what you're already doing. Plus, with Kasasa's awesome rewards, you'll be smiling all the way to the bank. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for Kasasa today and start earning money while having a blast. It's the perfect account for anyone who loves to laugh and save at the same time. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Kasasa is waiting for you.
Welcome back to Inside Hilltopper Athletics. We are on to the football season with head coach Roger Waialae. Coach, thank you for being here with us. 20th year at the helm, a good round number.
Yeah, on the count 19, we had the COVID year. We only played 3 or 4 games. So somebody said that to me the other day. I said it might be the 20th year as a head coach, but actually the 19th season. So.
19 and a half.
Yeah, well, we didn't play half. No.
Well, it's been a while. We used to do this show a lot a handful of years ago. It's the first time back. It's good to be back doing this. Good talking to you. We'll just jump right into it. Last year, a stellar offensive season, great passing game. Had those guys graduate. So now it's going to be a bit of a, not necessarily new look, but new players in those spots. Who do you see to step up for that?
Well, anytime you lose that amount of production, I think the production will be replaced, but what you lose in that is the leadership aspect. And, you know, going through our first 7 practices, the leaders got to start emerging here because they're out on the field on there. It's not like I'm in the huddle calling plays, telling them what to do. So, you know, that's what I worry about more is the leadership. I think the production will be there. I think that we've elevated our skill level, and we were really good skill that last year. So you know, if you look at it at the running back position, you know, last year we had to move a corner over, played a tight end. So we really didn't have a true tailback, and now we got 4 true tailbacks that I wouldn't be afraid to put in the game. And then you look at the wide receiver, we lost, you know, one of the top 5 receivers in the country, but we were able to get a couple of transfers. And then our freshman recruiting class at wide receiver was off the charts, meaning a lot of these kids are going to be special players at West Liberty if they stay. And then the tight end position, we made some transitions, meaning Falvo started for us at the 3 technique last year on defense. We had to move him because of some injuries. And then he got hurt in the first game, so we're never chance moving back. But Ramsey, who had to play tailback last year, is back at tight end, then Ratcliffe. So, you know, we have a lot of options, but whenever you're good offensively, it comes down to the offensive line. Fortunately, we lost some really good players, but we returned some really good players, meaning you know, Fraley as a true freshman last year started all 11 games. Elijah Mike started sporadically throughout last year when healthy. And then Curtis Hayes, I think, had 8 or 9 starts last year. So you got 3 guys coming back, but, you know, probably Isaac Talvo, our left tackle, he probably would have been an 11-game starter last year and ran into a little bit difficulties with the NCAA, with the junior college. So, you know, we redshirted him. So we're excited. And the freshmen we brought in offensive line-wise are competing, meaning a lot of times they're fairly tentative, and we went after a certain group that had some anger to them and come out to play. So I've liked the competition, you know, and quarterback, obviously we got to replace a really good one. We got 5 guys competing. Right now, they're still taking even reps until somebody emerges to poke their head above the other ones, and then we'll start limiting reps with other people. But, you know, we're only 7 practices in. We still got another 2.5 weeks before the first game. So I want to try to make a decision on the quarterback after this Saturday, and then we got 2 weeks to prepare for Walsh.
Would you say the quarterback position is the I guess, best position battle so far in camp, or is there something else offensively that is a pretty good position battle?
The running back battle's going to be good. The quarterback, I mean, you know, and it's like, you know, sometimes you can have a battle and it'll be low caliber play. Well, who's going to come out in the long run? But right now, you know, they're playing at a high level, so that's why it's hard to make a decision on who's going to play. But we have some very, very talented people all over the field offensively. And my expectations are high for them, but again, they have to have the expectations in order to achieve it. If they expect to be great, then hopefully we'll fly someplace in that stratosphere. But if they don't go in with those expectations, you're not going to be very good. So I like where we are offensively right now, and you know, I anticipate scoring a lot more points. So.
On the defensive side of the ball, you got longtime defensive coordinator Coach Monteroso returning, and a big-time standout defensive lineman and Cam Rice.
Actually, Cam Rice ended up at Ohio University.
Oh, I take that back. I apologize.
Yeah.
Never mind. I got to do my research a little better, Coach.
Yeah.
What do you expect from that defensive side of the ball? It seems like the defensive line always has somebody. Every year for West Liberty, there's some kind of standouts on that D-line.
Yeah, and here's the thing. We've had some really, really good D-line coaches there. And we hired a new one. The last D-line coach got a D-line job at UT Chattanooga. We hired Josh Francis. I don't think anything skipped a beat. I'm anticipating some different faces, but the same results. So, you know, if you look at it, Delano Marcellus has kind of been an unsung hero up front. He's been a 2.5-year starter for us. Never really got the accolades he deserved because Cam, and then we returned Briandre Horsley, who had a great freshman year, played as a true freshman. So those are the guys with experience, but we got Zach Vincente coming back. Probably the biggest steal in our recruiting class is a nose guard by the name of Tony Lima. I mean, he's a big-time player for us. And so Jordan Dickerson had a year with some experience last year. We're expecting things out of him. So we got a bunch of freshmen competing. Unfortunately, one of the kids that we were counting on broke his leg in the first practice just running. So one of the freshmen are going to have to stand up and be ready to go. But, you know, if you look at that, for once we have a lot of experience coming back at linebacker. Tyson Fasulamano's been a 2-year starter. Nolan Shemp started 5 games last year. And then we brought in a transfer, Chris Harm. So between those 3, they got to play the majority of the snaps until the other kids that we brought in are ready. In the secondary, you look at it, Trent Crawford will be a 4-year starter at nickel. Jeliza Morris-Smith, towards the last half of the season, played as good as any corner. He didn't have, you know, everybody looks at the corner position and says, oh, look at all the picks, look at all the picks. Well, Jeliza was the type of corner where they didn't throw his way because nobody was open. And so if he can continue to cover like that and shut down half of the field, and then Jordan Demas, who started sporadically and has been injured over the last 2 years, he's back with some experience, but there's no guarantee. We haven't picked any starters, but those are the guys that have experience. Our biggest problem is in the safety because we graduated some safeties. Now, Mason Gates started at weak safety for us 7 games last year. We got to hope he builds off of that. I mean, if you ask me, I think he had probably an okay freshman year. He needs to stand up, be a leader, and get going. Now, the free safety position, I can't tell you who's going to play there yet. So there's probably 8 or 9 guys we could put back there. But it's kind of like the quarterback situation. Nobody's really taking the position and taking hold of it. And so, you know, and that's why we practice for the next 2.5 weeks to see who can.
What do you feel like is the strongest position battle on the defensive side?
Secondary. I think the secondary situation, because every day somebody's stepping up. We have some true freshmen that are doing really well. We have transfers that are doing really well. And so, you know, our secondary coach, Coach Spencer, are going to have some decisions to make there.
Special teams wise, it seems like the West Liberty for past 15 years or so, maybe even longer, have had some very good special teams players, whether it be the punter, the kicker, but also the coverage teams. We've seen guys that, at least in my mind, not expected to be standouts on special teams, but next thing you know, they're on every single tackle, regardless.
Well, special teams wise, you know, what coaches lose sleep over is long snapping. You know, when you don't end. Wyatt Bratton, I thought, did a wonderful job as a true freshman last year. Now, he only played in the first 6 games, and then he had a concussion, and he played sporadically after that. Then we brought in Bateman, sorry. I think it's Bateman. I know his first name is Bryce.
There's a lot of kids on the team. There's a lot of kids.
So we have some depth there. You know, we got about 4 kids that can long snap. So, and then if you look at the punting, you know, we redshirted Colin McDermott. He's back there punting, competing with a grad transfer in Morgan Williamson, and then also Eli Tucker, a true freshman from Wheeling Central, also punts. And then one of our free safeties, DJ Johnson, also punts. So we got 4 guys biting there, 3 guys for the kicking spot. Waddell did all of our kicking last year. And when I say all of our kicking, he did PAT and kickoffs, and then Kaplan did the field goals. So he's hoping to win the job and take over all of them. But, you know, Williamson and Eli Tucker today was our first real kicking evaluation, and it was pretty even. I don't think one of them stood out over where I'm saying, okay, that's going to be the kicker. They both, you know, ended up with the last kick was about 46 yards into a win, and all 3 of them made it. So we have options. The one big thing that I don't know, I mean, I think in the return game and the punt, just because Ben has done it before, Ben Turner, one of our returning wide receivers and a returning leading receiver, will handle some of the punt duties along with Hunter Patterson. And so then the one that kind of, I don't know who's going to do kickoff return. And so today was the first day of install, and then I'll have to look at it. But we have, when I look back there's about 12 guys trying. I had to yell and say, if you don't have high school tape, returning the ball, get out of here. So, a lot of kids think they can return it, but I'm looking for somebody that's not going to stop their feet, that's going to hit the hole and keep going.
Just going back a little bit to the quarterback competition, but we'll talk about the coaches with that. To have a guy like Dakota Conwell back on the coaching staff, who was a standout West Liberty quarterback in his playing days, how much of a help is it to have a guy like that?
Well, it's great. I mean, his aspirations to be a coordinator right now. He's our pass game coordinator, and so I've kind of put everything on his table as far as the pass routes, and it's really stuff that we've run in the past with him. And if he has some new ideas, I'll look at him and we'll try him to see if it fits our personnel. But I've kind of given a lot more of my responsibilities to Dakota and Coach Hopkins. Coach Hopkins has really run our run game and our pass blocking since he's been with me since 2007. Anything that changes goes through him in the run game. Anything that he wants to do, we'll look at. And, if I have ideas, he'll tell me, hey, I don't think that fits us, or vice versa. And so it's good to know that I can go to practice, I can go mess around with the tight ends for a little while, and then go watch the defense and get my evaluations done there, knowing offensively that Coach Hopkins and Coach Conwell are going to get it done, and even with our two other coaches offensively, Johnny Boner with the wide receivers, he played with me for 4 years. I don't have to tell him anything. Yep. And then we have a GA that does the running backs, Andrew. Does a really, really good job with the running backs, and he's attentive to detail, is very good. So, staff-wise, offensively, it's almost time for me to turn it over to them and let them run it, but I haven't quite done it yet. So I think I would have if we were set at the quarterback position. But because I still don't know what we're going to do quarterback-wise, the game plan might change depending on which quarterback is in there.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming out tonight and being on the show with us. The Hilltoppers' first game of the season is October 29th. It's a Thursday night game at 7 p.m. It will be live on Topper Station. We will bring you that broadcast live on air Thursday night, August 29th. Again, Coach, thank you so much for being here with us, and we will see you in a
Thanks
2.5
to be back.
weeks or so.
We'll be back at it again all year.
Absolutely. When we return after the break, we will have Athletic Director Brad Fulci at West Liberty, and we will return to Inside Hilltoppers Athletics.
Let's talk Kasasa, the rewards checking account that pays you when you bank with BSB. You heard that right. You get rewarded for doing what you're already doing. Plus, with Kasasa's awesome rewards, you'll be smiling all the way to the bank. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for Kasasa today and start earning money while having a blast. It's the perfect account for anyone who loves to laugh and save at the same time. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Kasasa is waiting for you.
Grab a meal at the Dirty Dog Tavern. Located at the top of the hill in West Liberty, Dirty Dog Tavern offers a family-friendly atmosphere with a full menu as well as adult beverages. Catch the game during weekday happy hours, play games like darts or pool, or enjoy the deck with your family and friends. Open Monday through Saturday at 4 p.m. and Sunday from noon to 8. Come to the Dirty Dog Tavern in the town of West Liberty, a proud supporter of Hilltopper Athletics. Where are you going? The store in West Liberty. The store is open 7 days a week with daily lunch specials, hot food and cold sandwiches, Patsy's Pizza, and a wide selection of chips, pop, and other snacks, as well as household goods and hygiene products. We've also got a wide selection of beer and an ATM. Stop on in and check out the store, located at the top of the hill in the town of West Liberty, a proud supporter of Hilltopper Athletics.
What brought me to Reynolds was the easeability of all of the doctors that are using my chart. So everybody can see everything, so you don't have to tell each doctor what's going on. It's already in front of them and they're ready to go with your appointment. Overall with Reynolds, the doctors are fantastic, nurses are great, they've got a great atmosphere here. Everybody is honestly a delight to work with from the time I make it from registration to my appointment and wrapping me up to send me out the door. My name is Megan Chambers and I'm a patient at WVU Medicine, Reynolds.
Choosing health coverage for your family, your employees, and your company is one of the most important decisions you can make. The health plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. We are here for your family. We are here for your business. We'll be here for you when you need us most, because your health coverage is our priority. The health plan, here for you.
Generations on National Road in Wheeling, West Virginia, the final segment of Inside Hilltopper Athletics. Joining me, Athletic Director of West Liberty, Brad Forshee. I still call him Coach, but Coach, thank you for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. And it's a great turnout here tonight at Generations. We're excited to get the fall season started, and it's good seeing you. It's been a little while.
It has been a little while. Coach Forshee used to be the D-line coach and other things, various things for the football team. So which I was not anywhere near good enough to play college football, maybe he could have been my position coach, but I was terrible. Don't ask about it.
We would have caught you coached up. I think you could have contributed at some point.
I would have been like the student coach. I can tell you how to do it. I just can't do it myself.
That's what I did.
Or I'd have been the water boy. Yeah. One of the two things. Last year you were interim for a little while, then they named you full. So this is, I guess you could say, the start of your first full year as athletic director. Was that something, when at your point in a coaching career, did you think you might want to be athletic director?
That's a very good question. I know, when I came to West Liberty over 19 years ago, Jim Watson was the athletic director at the time, and someone I really looked up to. I don't think it really crossed my mind that early on that was my aspirations and career goals. And even through my whole coaching career, I don't know if I ever really give it that much thought, because you get so caught up in the moment of coaching. The administrative side of things really never came to mind. And then when I did step away from coaching and came back over into the compliance role and entered that administration role, I started to think about it a little bit. Then Coach Todd Ullom mentored me very well, and involved me in a lot of things that kind of got me ready and where I am today. So I thank him for that too.
Just sports in general, growing up and playing, was football your first love of sports?
No. Funny story is I never played football until my freshman year in high school. Now we may have had some pickup games or something in the backyard, but it was at my freshman year. It was at the end of my 8th grade year. Our junior high football coach at Williamstown High School, down in Little Singley, West Virginia. But Jack Jones came up to me and said, "Hey, you're a big guy. You can play football for us." And I was like, "Okay." And then I went out. And 9th grade was still junior high at the time, and that was the first time I ever played football. But I fell in love with it immediately. This the epitome of a team sport, being football. Golf's kind of individual, things like that. But seeing how you got 11 to 22 people that come together with a common goal to get things done, and I was captivated by it. And I think starting out late in my career, playing wise, I was still hungry after I left high school. And I was like, I really want to stay in athletics, especially football. That's what I excelled at. And I just went through 4 years of college playing football, and I still didn't have my fill. And then it was April 5th, 2005. I get a phone call from West Liberty saying, "Hey, we need a defensive line coach." And here I am 19 years later.
Well, for the fans at home watching that don't know Coach Forshee all that well, when I first got to West Liberty, about 14 years ago, it was my first time as a student at West Lib, and got to see you a little bit, got to talk to you a little bit. I could tell right away, if I had been good enough to play college, I would have loved you as a coach. He was the great combination of understanding the youth, understanding that they're young kids and they're just acclimating to this college way of life. But at the same time, when you need someone to jump down your throat, you were ready to do it. But it was one of those, as a coach, you wanted him to and you respected him. You didn't want to disappoint Coach Forshee because he meant that much to you. That's kind of what he was.
Well, thank you for the kind words. My 7-year-old Hunter Forshee's there in the crowd, and I kind of use that same approach with him sometimes. I think my life kind of looks at me. But, I think if you ask any of these people here, all of our coaches and everyone, it's the student athletes. It's who we do this for. And I did have a lot of good relationships with my players. But you kind of knew when you walked through that gate on the football field that, everything, that we had fun and stuff going in that meeting room. It's business when you go out there. And just to being able to be a position coach on the football team for so many years and, kind of condensed into that team only, and now being in the role I'm in now, it's 450, 475 student athletes in a given year that I can have a relationship with. And I think like anyone that gets a new role or a new position, you'll have that little bit of animosity, like, am I really cut out for this? And I think for me, it was early on when I was interim, I was in my office that kind of overlooks the breezeway of the ASRC, and I saw something out of the corner of my eye, I looked down, there was like 5 or 6 student athletes down there trying to get my attention, and all they want to do was say hi to me. So I was like, you know what, I can't do this, and that's what really makes it worthwhile.
He's the kind principal of sports. That's what it kind of feels like. He's the one you want to go talk to.
Well, what's funny is when I do get back with some of those old players I coached, we don't talk about, the good positive stuff. It's like, hey, remember that time you got there? Come on, guys. That's a little more positive than what you thought there a little bit. But yeah, it was a good time. A lot of good kids. So they're not kids, they're grown men, but I still call them kids. But a lot of good players I was blessed with coaching over the years that I wouldn't trade for anything.
You talked a little bit about the players helping you out in your coaching career, other coaches, Coach Waialae helping you out in your coaching career as well. Now that you're athletic director, who are some of the people in the athletics department that help you out in your new job?
Well, I tell you what, if I didn't mention these people, I should be fired tomorrow, because Rex Lancaster, Logan Watson, Robin Bruner, those 3 right there are the heartbeat of the department. I mean, my name might be on there as director of athletics, but without those 3 individuals, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And I think any of our head coaches would agree to that. Robin's 35, 36 years of experience in the athletic department. Rex and Logan, what they do for game operations and things like that. Our athletic training staff, phenomenal people. These are individuals that probably don't get enough credit for what they do as our athletic trainers. Jerry Duncan, Jason Coleman, and Mel Cheek. I mean, when our student athletes are banged up or injured, they're the ones that get us turned around and get them back out there on the fields or courts. And, it's the people behind the scenes that often make the train go, as they say. And we got a really, really good group of support staff that helps us do what we need to do.
What's your idea, now that you're the athletic director, your idea of what West Liberty Athletics identity should be? How do you want things to look?
Well, I know we've been a good athletic department for years, so I guess my main goal is to don't overturn the apple cart. Right? I do enjoy the student athletes, and that's really what we focused on early on, with me being AD, is what can we do to make the student athlete experience better? And, with the transfer portal and things like that these days, that's something you got to pay attention to. And we're looking at trying to make game days as a big event for our student athletes as possible. So I'm literally going to go into the college 101 classes and talk to these freshmen on the first day that they're there and say, hey, I'm the athletic director here. We need you, at our games in all sports, and try to build that tradition where we're getting as many people as we can to all of our athletic events and making that, when they walk out there, that's going to be the memories they have. A lot of people don't remember practices, but they do remember games.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that we've looked at. Last spring we did what we called the Westbees, the spin-off of the ESPYs that the ESPN does, and we did some, I think 17 awards in total that went out to student athletes, and we couldn't have had any better feedback than what we had on that. We didn't give a dress code at all for that, and then to see our student athletes walked in, they were in dresses, and all the gentlemen had ties and things on, and it was like, this is something that means a lot to our student athletes. And the moment it was over, they were coming up, they thanked everyone involved, and hey, can we stay here and dance? So that's something we're going to do annually, and we're going to do a little fall event here coming up too. Maybe not quite as formal as the Westbees that we did last spring, but kind of a way to kick off the fall and get everybody going. But that's something that today's day and age you really have to pay attention to, is our student athletes enjoying their time at West Liberty, and we got to make sure we're doing everything possible to get that done.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming up here with us. I keep calling you Coach, but he is the athletic director. I can't help it. It's out of habit. I've known him for quite some time, but thank you so much for being on the show with us tonight, and I have nothing but good things to look forward to with the fall sports at West Liberty.
We're glad to have you, and we look forward to keep going, and I'd like to tell everybody out at Hilltopper Nation to come out to our events this year. We need you in the stands. Get loud and rowdy.
Again, thank you very much for watching, everyone at home. This was the sports preview edition of Inside Hilltopper Athletics. I am Todd Ullom. for all of the coaches and Coach Brad Forshee, the athletic director of West Liberty, thank you for watching, and we will see you on all the coaches shows throughout the fall and live broadcasts of the different sporting events.
From humble beginnings in 1837, West Liberty University has been home to thousands of students. Whether you're a recent high school graduate or looking to complete a college degree later in life, starting your educational career at West Liberty University will be the catalyst for your future. This is a place where you will discover who you are and where you belong, surrounded by lifelong friends and a supportive faculty and staff. Start your journey home at westliberty.edu.